Welcome back. We are making a trip to Mexico today with a budget-friendly dish perfect for the whole family.
That's right. Tara Walker from East Coast Cookery School in County Loud is with us today with the fish. Hello,
yes.
Tara.
Good morning, Tara.
Good morning. So I'm going to do, I have salmon and hake actually, so whatever fish you have, you can use for this. It's lovely. It's a nice little healthy dish, but quite indulgent. It feels indulgent when you're having it. So first up, I'm going to make a little spice mix. And actually this spice mix is great for loads of different things. You could use it for chicken fajitas. We actually had a Mexican feast class at the cookery school yesterday, and I was saying, you know, just make a big batch of it if you want to put it in a jar, mix it all up, and then you can just pop it into anything. Maybe during the week when you're in a hurry.
To do it that way, yeah.
Exactly.
Is it, do you use it as a kind of a marinade or something?
Yeah, you can, or a dry rub. Like it's very kind of,
cool.
it's like almost like a Cajun dressing, I suppose,
Nice.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got cumin and coriander gone in there, just pre-ground, and a little bit of paprika, a little bit of chili powder or cayenne. I love cayenne. I have a little bit of dried oregano and some black pepper, a fair bit of black pepper there. A little bit of salt. I've got Oriel sea salt from Clarehead here.
Of course you have.
Yes, I do. I love their salt. And then a little bit of sugar. Optional. If you don't want to go with the sugar, you don't have to. So there are the spices. You could put those in a jar now. You could make a big batch of it and use it then during the week.
Happy
Even a stir fry or something. Give it a little mix around, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of rapeseed oil in with it just to help bind it together. And here's my fish. So I've got hake here now, but I have salmon in the oven already. So just to show you kind of how you can use both with this. So let's just get
Do you find
that
that white fish like that needs a bit of help, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can be,
Hot
unless you
and
cook it
hake.
really hot and fast.
Yeah.
You know, do a nice lemony, garlicky sauce or something like that, or white wine sauce
On the
or something
pan
like
or
that.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
it does a little bit. So it actually takes really well to these spices. So what'll happen is the outside gets nice and kind of golden brown and charred almost, but the centre is still lovely and white.
Lovely.
So let me get this into the oven.
And what temp are you cooking that at?
So about 180 to 200, hot and fast we're looking for here.
Okay.
And then I just want to show you for the tacos themselves, of course you can make your own tacos, but this is a handy little trick. I'm not mad about the pre-made tacos because they're a little bit greasy. So these are little mini wraps. I always have them in the house. My daughter likes them for her school lunch or
For
whatever.
lunch, yeah.
And what I'm doing here is I'm just folding them over a couple of the
bars,
rungs of
yeah.
the wrap.
Creating the shape.
Exactly. And then we're going to pop it into the oven.
I mean, how simple can that
Yeah,
be?
and you can do a big batch of them at the one time, you know.
Well, it's so simple, I'd never think of it. So it's the perfect alternative to the original tacos, which you
Exactly.
say are a little bit greasy.
Exactly, so there's no oil or anything on these.
There you go.
And these are a
Done.
couple I just did earlier, so you can see they just
Perfect.
hold a nice shape there. So let me pop them here for a minute.
How long would you do
and
that
come
for?
back to
About
them.
10 minutes, I think?
Yeah,
If
5
even?
to 10 minutes. Like, if you're in a hurry, put the grill on and do them quickly. And then
Yeah.
if you're not in a hurry, you can, you know, just leave them in the
Happy
oven for 10 or
days.
15 minutes. Yeah.
Don't burn them.
So over here, yeah, don't burn them. Just keep an eye on them, yeah. Over here, I'm just going to make up a quick little salsa. I have some lovely cherry tomatoes, organically grown locally for me. And I have a little bit of garlic in there, some finely chopped red onion or diced, a little bit of red wine vinegar. You could use a bit of lime in there either, but I'm going to use some lime in the guacamole, and some coriander. And I like keeping the coriander fairly sort of chunky in this so that it's almost like a salad leaf. As you can see, I've been annihilating my little plant
You
there.
have, yeah.
Yes.
bereft of leaves.
Yes. So I love this. So this salsa
Smells
is
beautiful.
only nice on the day that you make it.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit left over, what you can do is blitz it up with a little stick blender, use it as a dip or a drizzle or
Oh,
whatever.
very
So you
good.
will get a
Yeah.
second day out of it. And then last but not least, we're going to make a quick guacamole. So I have a nice avocado here. And I quite like keeping the guacamole sort of, you know, chunky and rustic. So it's almost like a side dish with you know, it's like a vegetable side as opposed to like
A paste.
sauce. Or,
yeah, or sauce.
exactly. Yeah.
Is there much variation with the guacamole, or is it pretty standard ingredients?
You can pop loads of different things into it. Like your basic is your, you know, salt, lime juice, garlic. You know, some people put chili in, cumin, you know, a bit of coriander through. This, yeah. So I like just mashing it on my board like this. Slightly messy, but it's kind of nice and chunky
rustic.
then. Yeah. And then I have a bit of chili and garlic going in.
I tried blending an avocado in a NutriBullet recently.
It's just...
How did that go for you?
Not well.
No.
No.
Well, most of it got stuck in the NutriBullet, but it
great.
actually comes
Yeah.
out
Yeah, it's
like
not
a
great.
paste.
Yeah,
Not great.
exactly. So I kind of like this, and I've just put a bit of lime juice there, and I'm using a little bit of chunky sea salt this time for it, just to give a bit of crunch in there. And that's really everything kind of assembled.
Right.
So I'm just going to grab the salmon out of the oven that I did
And how
earlier.
long do you cook the fish for?
Yeah, so it depends on the size of the
Yeah,
fish,
of course,
the chunk,
yeah.
and it also depends on what fish you're using. So this salmon's been in about 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
And you can see there, it's kind of nicely charred on the outside.
Beautiful.
And then I'm just going to pull it apart and flake it down. And you should be able to see it's nice and kind of, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's lovely and kind of charred on the outside, but nice and sort of soft in the centre,
Moist as
which
well,
I think is lovely. Yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
So
you just pull it apart.
Pull it apart like this. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. And I think one good big chunk of salmon like that will do sort of 2 people, because you've got your guacamole, which is quite filling.
Yeah.
You've got your salsa. You know, there's a lot going on there. So let me fill these little tacos now.
Gorgeous.
And I use the guacamole then as a little glue to hold together. So I usually start with the fish on the bottom.
Nice.
And you could let the fish rest for a couple of minutes. Obviously, we just
Smell of that rub as it's cooked is just
Isn't it
beautiful.
lovely? Yeah. And as I say, you could use it for loads of different things. Like the problem with different spice mixes is there's often hidden MSG, chemicals, salts, sugars. And when you see how quick and easy it is to make your own. Absolutely. So here's my guacamole, my nice chunky guacamole going in. And then I have some salsa going in, plenty of coriander in my salsa. And that to me is a lovely kind of course you could do it for, you know, if you had guests over or whatever, it's nice enough. But at the same time, for me, it's a nice midweek meal. You could probably eat it in front of the telly on the couch, you know, and everything's in there, but really healthy. There's nothing nasty in it at all.
Game day food as well.
Go on,
if you're having the lads round to watch United.
Game day food, yeah. You'd need some pick-me-up, wouldn't you?
It's game day food. And now just mind your shirt, because it is a bit of a mess.
You will need a shower after that, but you carry on. I'll do all the reading while you do all the eating.
I'll save you a bite.
Tara, thank you.
You're most welcome.
Looks delicious. I hope you leave me some. Right, as ever, today's recipe is up on our website. Or, of course, you can check out Tara's book, Good Food, No Stress, for more of her delicious dishes.